Hello everyone. Today we're looking at solving an equation for a given variable, and originally you were supposed to view this on Monday, but I'm asking you to view it today because it is a really difficult concept, and I just want to make sure that you get a head start on it and are able to ask me questions in class before you begin the algebra course next week with the high school. So please ask me questions anytime you run across something that's unclear in this video. I may need to do 2 videos for this because it is a little bit of a more difficult concept. So your learning target is I can isolate any variable in an equation. So typically when we have problems like this, we have 2 steps that we need to do. We need to subtract. We know we need to get this variable by itself. So we need to subtract 5 and then divide both sides by 3. So we would subtract 5 over here and this would go away. And so our next line would be 3x equals 12 and then divide both sides by 3. This is the best way I can show you to divide by 3. This isn't subtracting. And then x equals 4. Okay, so that's pretty standard. But you do this now because you've been doing it for a while without thinking about what you're actually doing. So you are still isolating a variable, and in this case there's only been one variable. So let's look at the same problem, but this time instead of numbers I'm going to use all letters. So instead of the 3 I'm using an A, instead of the X I'm using a B, instead of the 5 I'm using a C, and instead of the 17 I'm using a D. Okay, so this is the same exact setup as this problem right here, and I'm just going to take off this subtracting 5 just to clarify. Okay, so it's the same exact setup as right here. So let's say that we're solving for B. I'm going to put that in bold so that you know we're trying to get B by itself. So what would we do? Well, first we have to do the same thing. We can't divide here first. We need to subtract the C. So we're going to subtract a C from both sides. Well, can we subtract C from a D when we don't know what the numbers are? No. So we have to leave this right here. We just have to leave it as it is. Don't touch it. Just leave it as D minus C. That's it. Now, we subtracted C over here. So when we subtracted a C from a positive C, it got rid of it. Okay, are you with me? Then you will, from there, now you need to do A times B, and you're trying to get B by itself, so you'll need to divide, oops, I don't need that big of a line, divide by A, and when you divide an A by an A, it turns into a 1, or you can just like cross them out. I'm going to actually delete them from the screen in just a moment, and then you'll need to divide by A on the other side as well. So you'll need, this is my division line, you'll need to divide by an A. Well, do we know what A is? We still don't know what A, B, D, or C are, so we just have to leave it like this. This part went away, so then our next line is B, because A divided by A is just 1. We don't need that anymore. B equals D minus C all over, see if I can do it, all over A. Okay, so your answers for these types of problems will all be in letter form. Okay, so if you're confused, look back at the steps that you know what to do for these ones. Look back at those steps and then compare it with these numbers. We did the same exact thing. We subtracted the number first that was by itself without the variable we were trying to solve. And then we put it on the other side. We put it on the other side right here. And then we divided. Remember how we divided by 3? Here we didn't have a number, but we still divided by A. We have to do it to both sides to keep the equation balanced. So then we have B equals D minus C divided by A. All right, let's try another concept, or the same concept, a different kind of problem. So this time, let's do C. Well, we can do C equals, oh, actually we'll use A. A equals B plus C times, let's do C times, actually no, let's do all this divided by D. So B plus C all over, sorry, that's the best all over sign I can do, all over D. Okay, so what do we do first in this type of problem? If we're, oh, and let's get B by itself again, just for fun. Yes, I said fun. I think these are fun. All right, so let's get B by itself. Okay, so what do we do to get B by itself? In this one, well, we have to get rid of this D down here, so we need to multiply both sides by D. So when we, over here, remember I've been using this as multiply. When we multiply by D, these D's go away, but we also have to multiply by D over here. So D times A, or A times D, whichever way you want to put it, balances that equation. So now you have the D is gone from this side, and it's put over here to make it balanced. So your next line is D times A, or just dA, equals B, which we're trying to get by itself, B plus C. Okay, now what do we need to do to get B by itself now? What's the opposite of adding a C? Well, the opposite of adding a C is subtracting a C. So if we have adding a C here and we're subtracting a C here, we have to subtract a C from this side. And remember, this was 1 unit, so I like to put parentheses on it and then subtract C. Well, now my equation's balanced, so a C plus a C, those go away. And look, B is now by itself. So D times A minus C is going to equal B. All right, so you go ahead on your notes. I know this is a little new for you, but go ahead and try this one. A times B minus C equals, let's do D times, let's just do D. We'll do this problem. It's very similar to the one up here, but you're going to do it with these letters or these variables and a subtraction sign, okay? So go ahead and pause the video and try to do that problem, and when we come back I will go over it. I'll put this in bold. Oh, and for this one, let's solve for A just to be different. I'll put it in italics so you can remember. So solve for A. Maybe I'll change the color. Oh, I'll highlight it. Okay, so solve for A. Pause the video and then push play again once you've solved it. Okay, so hopefully this is what you did. You know that you have to get this by itself, so you added a C to both sides, which got rid of this C over here, so your next line would be AB equals D plus C. And then you're trying to get A by itself, so this time you're going to be dividing by B, which I don't have a dividing by sign, so I just do this, and then dividing by B, or you can draw the line underneath those two letters and divide the whole thing by B. And that gets you A equals D plus C all over. If you wanted to do it all over like this, you are more than welcome to do that, all over B. Okay, so this is the first time you guys are seeing this. I know it's a little different using all letters instead of numbers, but if you're ever confused, you are totally able to plug numbers into this just to solve it, and then follow the same steps that you used with the numbers to get the variables by themselves. So go ahead if you can and come and see me to find out which problems you'll be doing. Actually, let me just pull them up in just a minute. I'll put them up on the screen right now. Okay, so here is the textbook on page 168 that you will be working on. You're going to be doing problems starting on number 13, but I wanted to go over a few of these with you before we move on. And then if you notice, something like number 1 is what we just did as examples. They are only using variables, but if you look at number 4, they mix numbers in there too. So I'm going to go over one of those examples with you before we move on. And this one's asking you to solve for x. so let me get back to my notes. Okay, oops, I didn't put the signs in there. Let's find out what the signs are. Just a second. Negative 3x plus b equals 6x. Okay, so negative 3x plus b equals 6x. And they're asking you to solve for x. I don't know why those numbers are in there. Solving for x, okay? And this is exactly how your problems will be showing up on your textbook. It'll say the equation and then it'll say 4x. So they want you to get x by itself. Okay, so on this one, to get x by itself, well, here's x. Oh, look, we've got x on both sides of the equation. So let's get it to one side of the equation. Well, what's the opposite of a subtracting 3x? If you said adding 3x, you are correct. Plus 3x. And then we still have our plus b equals 6x. And we have to do the same thing to the other side, plus 3x. Okay, so now we have our variables are on one side. We can simplify and combine like terms. So we have this negative 3 and a positive 3 cancel each other out. So now we have b equals, well, what's 6x plus 3x? It's just 9x. And too bad we're not solving for b, because now b is by itself. My computer's randomly getting brighter and darker, I'm sorry. But it's asking you to get x by itself. So if you need to get x by itself, well, right here, x is almost by itself, other than it's being multiplied by 9. So we need to divide by 9 on both sides. Let me write my division signs really quickly. Oh, that's something new I've never seen before. Okay, so divide both sides by 9. Now the 9 and the 9 change to a 1. And then you have b divided by 9 equals x. Okay, so this is something you'll see commonly. Sometimes you'll have numbers and variables mixed together, but they want you to only get one by itself. All right, and then I have 3 minutes left in this video until it times out on me. So let me go back to one more example problem, and let's do this one. Y plus a divided by 3 equals c, and they want you to get y by itself. So I'll try my best to do it on the Word document. Y plus a divided by 3 equals c. So y plus a divided by 3 equals c. And they want you to get y by itself, so I'll put that one in bold. I typically, when I'm doing these homework assignments, if I was a student, I would circle the letter that they want me to get by itself, so that way I remember, because sometimes the other ones get in my way and get confusing. So we need to get this y by itself. Well, we've got to divide it by 3, so we need to multiply by 3 up here. I'll do 3 multiplied like that. Let's not have that be bold. And so a 3 over a 3 changes to a 1, so those numbers go away. We also have to multiply by 3 over here. You can do this, or you can write 3c, which I prefer to do, 3c. Now these are gone, so then on this side of the equation, all we have left is y plus a equals 3c. We're still trying to get that y by itself, so all we have left on this side to deal with is a positive a, so we have to subtract a from both sides. And then over here, all we have left now, nope, don't do that for me, computer. Sorry, I talked to my computer. Minus a. Okay, so all we have left now is y equals 3c minus a. And now y is by itself, and this is your final answer. That's all you can do with these kinds of problems. All right, so I only have 30 seconds left in this video. Go ahead and on your own try numbers 13 through 30. Pause the video now so you can use this and you don't have to use a book from a friend in class. Please come get me and ask questions and let me know if you need help. Good luck, guys.